The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Straight ahead here on DC News Now at 6, several bodies have been found at separate times in Fairfax County and Alexandria. What we're learning about the investigations. Plus, now that Title 42 has come to an end, what happens next for migrants across the country and at the border? And it's Mother's Day. Hear what high school students in Prince George's County had to say about the ones they love the most. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6. I'm Annalisa Gale. Saturday was a rainy day across the DMV, but we've been seeing clear skies today on this beautiful Mother's Day. Here's meteorologist Scott Sumner.
All right, yes, indeed, Annalisa, it is a complete 180-degree turnaround from what we saw yesterday, and thankfully so. It is Mother's Day after all, and I hope all you moms had a beautiful afternoon. Let's step over to the weather monitor, as you can see, and it's 78 degrees. Not too bad outside. Full sunshine, even as I look outside our window here in Wisconsin Avenue, and so we're going to see a dry night tonight, but we will also have an increase in clouds building in as we go throughout the overnight period. I'll let you know if we have any rain showers from that coming up in the full weather, but we didn't have any rain this afternoon. As a matter of fact, we topped out at 80 degrees today at Reagan National, when the average should be 76 and the record 93, set way back in 1956. We'll talk about temperatures here over the next 7 days, and we'll talk about what to expect for tonight's lows. That's all coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Scott. Well, new tonight, Alexandria police say a body has been found in the 500 block of Pickett Street. At this time, no foul play is suspected. The chief medical examiner will determine the person's cause of death. No further information was provided at this time. And developing now, 2 death investigations are underway in Fairfax County. Police say a body was found on Mint Place, also in Alexandria. On Saturday night, they shared the news just before midnight, but no further details were provided there either. And less than 8 hours before, they say a body was also found behind a business on Glen Carlin Drive in Falls Church, Virginia. Well, now, new tonight at the southern border, the Secretary of the Homeland Security says he's seeing a sharp decrease in migration after the end of Title 42. While speaking on ABC's This Week, he said that the number of migrants trying to enter the United States has been cut in half. This comes after policy changes only allowing migrants to seek asylum at the border after being unable to achieve migrant status in their home countries, as well as harsher penalties for migrants that tried to enter illegally. That, along with an extra 24,000 agents stationed at the border. Well, new tonight, New York City is preparing for dozens of asylum seekers following the end of Title 42. And one solution is to use an elementary school's gym as shelter. Steve Cooge has the latest from Brooklyn.
It's going to be a disaster.
New York's immigration process has been thrown into confusion. Currently, officials estimate around 500 asylum seekers are arriving in New York City every day. They're coming from countries in South America and Central America, traveling through Mexico and ending up here. However, with the COVID restrictions known as Title 42 expiring, some officials believe we could see thousands more arriving soon.
We as a city cannot begin to change our laws. We cannot begin to do things that are going to have adverse effects to new New Yorkers, new Americans, and long-term New Yorkers. And so what we need is a real coordinated effort. Some of that effort will be to bring migrants to the gymnasium here at PS 188 in Coney Island. Parents don't like it.
They are not going to have a gym anymore. Cafeteria is right here in the bottom. What's going to happen?
This gym may not have all the luxuries of an apartment or hotel room, but it is a roof over the head and a place of safety with police officers watching. New York City Councilman Ari Kagan says all options are on the table when it comes to finding shelters for these asylum seekers, but he doesn't agree with everything city officials have planned.
It's inhumane to migrants too, to be stationed in this school gym. It's a school gym, no showers. How do you see it, you know? And I understand, like, it's an emergency crisis. I understand it's a crisis.
At other nearby schools, some parents are worried that turning their local schools into shelters and asylums could eliminate after-school programs and activities for the kids and teens in the area. Right now, there are a lot of unknowns, and even local leaders and officials don't have the answers.
Office of Emergency Management should notify all elected officials to begin with, community board to begin with, and if it's a school or any other location, they also should be notified properly.
Many city and local community leaders we spoke to say President Joe Biden and his administration need to do something about the migration situation to get it under control and make everything flow smoothly. Until then, everyone would agree there needs to be more communication on this topic. In Coney Island, I'm Steve Cooge, Pix 11 News.
Turning now to West Virginia, where a woman has been arrested for shooting and injuring a customer inside a South Charleston grocery store. The South Charleston Police Department says that 32-year-old Lydia Spencer got into an argument with another woman inside the store. The argument escalated and Spencer pulled out a gun and shot the other woman, according to police. The extent of her injuries are still unknown. Spencer has been charged with attempted murder. Well, a new report finds that abortion clinics are experiencing an increased surge of attacks and violence. That's according to the National Abortion Federation. They say clinics and providers saw a 231% increase in burglaries in 2022. It also includes a 229% spike in doctors, staff, and patients being stalked at facilities there. Abortion clinics have reportedly received suspicious envelopes with white powdery substances. Experts say the behavior is even more alarming in states that have outlawed abortion. Meanwhile, a Republican senator's battle with the Pentagon over access to abortion is ramping up. Some say Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville is holding up military nominations while the Defense Department offers travel funds and time off for service members seeking reproductive care. Jesse Turner has the latest.
Alabama Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville is waging his own war against the U.S. Defense Department over its abortion policy.
The Biden administration wants to mobilize our military against the weakest and the most defenseless, the unborn.
Tuberville is using a Senate rule to block military promotions and says he will keep blocking them as long as the Pentagon continues to pay for travel and time off for service members and their dependents seeking an abortion.
My hold is to end an illegal abuse of taxpayer funds.
This policy is firmly rooted in law.
During a Senate hearing Thursday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said nearly 80,000 women in the military live in states with abortion restrictions.
And they don't get a chance to pick where they live and where they're stationed. It's critical that they be assured that they'll have access.
Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley said Tuberville's hold affects about 4,000 troops, spouses, and children.
It drags the uniformed military right in the middle of a political argument.
Milley and Austin both warned the delay will impact the military's readiness and morale at a time when every branch is struggling with recruitment.
We certainly don't want to begin losing people because we can't promote them.
The top Republican in the Senate, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, criticized Tuberville's hold.
I don't support that.
But Tuberville says he's not backing down. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Well, turning now to sports, while the Commanders works on the paperwork for a sale, there are still questions about where its next home will be. DC News Now's Max Marcilla is in Virginia with opinions from some local leaders.
A reinvigorated push to bring the Washington football franchise to its neighbors in Virginia. Now with Dan Snyder soon to be out of the picture, state and local lawmakers will have decisions to make.
And that means that we can go back to discussing it objectively about it being an economic development opportunity.
Reed and Delegate Luke Torian sent a letter to Governor Glenn Youngkin earlier this month. In it, they laid out 6 recommendations they have for the Virginia Football Stadium Authority, including protecting Virginia taxpayers, requiring project labor agreements so it's built on time and on budget, and environmental protections.
These are the things that I think are essential for us to be able to have a good deal for Virginia, whether or not the stadium is going to be in Loudoun or Prince William or in some other place.
Reed said he would want to see a final plan before determining if any tax dollars aside from those created from the project would be used. Opponents don't want any public funds to go toward the next stadium, plus concerns about traffic. But we took this question to Metro riders. After all, that's a big reason why Loudoun believes it's a contender. It's a small sample size, but there's some excitement.
I think that's where the next big thing should be.
We're kind of fed up with a lot of data centers, and we don't have that much entertainment going on. So I think it should be based in Virginia, and it should be good for the economy, not gonna lie.
Well, I think we can all say that the gift for Mother's Day was definitely the sunshine.
Yeah, and it's still hanging with us here, Annalisa, as behind me in Annapolis, you can see beautiful skies out there, clear skies across the region. A lot of folks out and about as we transition through spring and get into summer here. Memorial Day is not that far off as we had this, of course, the unofficial start to summer as we get into that period. And it felt summery out there today. 78 degrees right now, northwest breeze at 8 miles an hour. The sun sets at 8:13 tonight. Boy, what a difference from yesterday. Yesterday's system is well out into the Atlantic, and the showers are with it. We are seeing dry conditions now, but there are some clouds back here across Ohio, portions of West Virginia, Pennsylvania. Those clouds are going to zip on by overnight tonight, so don't be surprised to see an increase in cloud coverage. But we will not see rain until we get to Tuesday. And then we have a couple of beautiful days, and then later on Friday and going into the beginning of next weekend, it looks like a rinse and repeat type of situation across the area here. What about temperatures tonight? I did kind of tease those numbers before at the very top of the newscast, and expect overnight lows in and around the district to stay into the lower 50s here and middle 50s across portions of Anne Arundel County, as well as the shores of Calvert County and St. Mary's County. However, further inland across I-81 and up towards the Cumberland Valley, we'll be looking at numbers into the 40s here, primarily middle and upper 40s. So weather headlines are showing a pleasant night ahead, mainly sunny Monday. Showers return on Tuesday and a beautiful Wednesday in store for us. How beautiful? Well, stick around. My 7-day forecast is coming up.